Hey there, Michelle Copper here with the Inspired Voice Business Coaching in Vanport Square Studio. Welcome to day 8 of my 30 videos in 30 days challenge. Today I wanted to answer a question that came in from Paige, similar question from Jocelyn, and they're both asking about the difference between performing or singing on their own or presenting and practicing on their own versus speaking or singing in front of other people. Paige is talking about her voice having a quavering feeling when it's on the spot, and Jocelyn mentions her voice feeling weaker or more irregular when she's in front of others versus when she's on her own. Very common. The first thing to know is that the differences that we hear and experience as we're experiencing our sound from the inside of our own head are much more obvious to us than they are outside of us. So let it be the way it is. We do behave differently when we're being witnessed. It's a different experience. Molecules behave differently under observation. The scientists are even catching up with that. It is true. Yes, you do. You are more nervous or on the spot in front of other people than you are when you are alone. And we can often control our breath and control our sound much more easily when we're on our own, because when we're in front of other people, the nervous system is carrying on with some adrenaline and some excitement, and we want to be seen and heard, and we want to bring everything, and there's all this pressure that we put on ourselves, this perfectionistic idea of like, I know I can sound this good in private, so if I don't sound that good now, I fail. Well, the truth is, you probably do sound about the same. It's just very different because you're navigating a whole bunch of other different experiences in your body. So allowing for that, expecting that, is a great way to take some of the charge out of it. And then again, as I've been saying, it's about muscle memory. It's about practice, practice, practice. It's about getting out there and doing it as often as possible. Humans become habituated very quickly. And if you get out there and go to 100 auditions in a week, you don't feel the same about auditioning as you did when you started. If you get out there and make 100 pitches or 100 presentations, then you have a different relationship with it. Your body settles down, you get into the flow. So allowing that it's going to feel different and allowing that it's going to sound different to you, but remembering it's not going to sound nearly as different to everyone else. And then practicing, teaching your face the choreography of the words, teaching your muscles of your voice the intervals of the pitch and the sound, remembering to breathe, training your body to take those full breaths where and when you need them, will all help you have a more stable sound when you are in performance or presentation mode in front of other people. And then the last thing I would say is that this gets to the heart of what we've been talking about so far, and it is about ownership. It is about allowing yourself to shine and be seen and be heard exactly from where you are in that moment, without apology and without any unrealistic expectations or demands on yourself. So owning your talent, owning your sound, owning your process are all tools toward eventually coming to this place, or maybe instantaneously coming to this place where you have your sound, you have your breath, you have your mindfulness, your awareness, your thoughts, while being observed. If you love what you do and you're doing what you love and you own your message and your beliefs and your process and your talent, then sharing it is bonus time. It's the icing on the cake. It's only fun. Even if your heart's racing a little bit and you feel a little queasy in your tummy and you can't quite get a full breath and your mouth is really dry, you're still getting to be you all the way out to your edges, and that's enough. So thanks for some great questions. This reminds me of one of my favorite quotes from Emerson, and it says, "Who you are, speak so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying." So our work, our job is to show up with all of our stuff, our joy, our sound, our thoughts, our ideas, our talent, our beauty, our wisdom, and let it be seen. So many times I've seen people walk onto a stage or into a presentation room or into an audition, and all of a sudden they try to become what they think the people on the other side want them to be or they're supposed to be. And it's those people who come in being fully who they are that are the most mesmerizing and captivating and interesting to watch, who also seem the most relaxed and excited to do their work. So thanks you guys for great questions. Get out there and do it. Please make your comments below, email me, or hop on the Inspired Voice Facebook page, like us, and share your challenges and questions about speaking up, being heard, and valuing yourself and being valued. Hey you guys, Michelle Copper here with the Inspired Voice Business Coaching and Vanport Square Studio. Welcome to day 9 of my 30 videos in 30 days challenge. Today I wanted to read a question from Sharon, who is asking a pretty insightful question about continuing to remember to breathe. So my continued challenge is breath and remembering to breathe when I'm presenting or participating in a group. It doesn't have to be a formal presentation. Even when she's answering a question or commenting, she finds herself anxious with really shallow breathing. And she thinks this lessens or skews the impact that she can make in her work and also the intent of what she wants to communicate. She says this has been a lifelong challenge, and she feels that she's often too emotional while communicating an idea or a thought. And she wants to discern the difference between true passion and a fearful, fear-based intensity in her communications, which is an amazing question and a very insightful process. So breathing is something I've already mentioned many times, and a lot of us are starting to become more aware of the impact of breathing. And I've also talked a lot about this practicing and becoming present in the moment via owning and teaching your body the way to do it. And that can be a practice that we do even in the moment of a heated conversation or collaboration at work across the conference table, or the heightened environment of signing a new client or making a new presentation for a new client at work. And also this idea that we need to make them see it our way in order to make everything be okay, that we need to control or fix the outcome, can really drive that fear experience. So breathing always is a good idea, and really practicing and becoming mindful so that whenever you feel a heightened experience, you might stop and take a breath. It can be a really powerful tool. The other thing that I wanted to comment on in Sharon's question and challenge was this idea of being too emotional. Some people in presenting or pitching feel that they maybe get too excited. And first of all, right away, if I'm worried about being too anything, I'm editing myself. I'm trying to play small or shrink and not owning my ideas or enthusiasm. The idea that I'm too much, too loud, too obnoxious, trying too hard, too invested is all a judgment. That's all different ways that I'm judging myself. And so I need to let go of that judgment and begin to build my ability to trust and have faith in my perspective and my wisdom and my insight and what I have to contribute, which also lessens the desire or this urgent need that we feel we need to communicate because we're worried about not being heard, or we're not getting through, or they're not hearing us. And then that's what we end up manifesting. But if we can trust and own what we have to say and to contribute, and let go of controlling the outcome or making sure that they get it or see us or are perfectly understanding or agreeing with what we're saying, and really focus on that relaxed breath and coming from a loving place, then the situations, whether it's presenting, speaking, negotiating over the conference table or over the deal, all of those things can be improved by taking a deep breath and then letting go of our judgment about how we're doing it in the moment, being really compassionate with ourselves. Great questions. The last thing she talks about is this idea of passion and enthusiasm versus fear. And that, again, gets to this desire to be heard, desire to help. We see so clearly what needs to happen. And that is when the fear or the need to control the outcome is being our primary directive. But when we come from this place of our passion, our excitement, and enthusiasm, while we are allowing everyone to have their own passion and excitement and enthusiasm, we can remain more neutral, and then our breath remains more available to us, and then we are in a position of power because we're surrendered. We are not dependent on any result. We are there to be of maximum service and once again to be fully who we are, owning what we know, and being in the experience of everything else. So thank you, Sharon, for another great question. Thanks for being here. I'd love to answer any questions you have or challenges you have with speaking up, being heard, being seen, being valued, and valuing yourself. And I will see you again tomorrow. Thanks again, everyone. Hey there. Michelle Copper here with the Inspired Voice Business Coaching and Vanport Square Studio. Today I wanted to talk about articulating. I've watched a lot of online videos and done some amazing trainings with many amazing teachers and online entrepreneurs and business professionals who've taught me many, many things. And the content is great, and they're different levels of comfortability with the video process being on camera. But one of the things that I've noticed is that in an attempt to be casual, be approachable, be, just a guy next door, in the vibe is that a lot of people mumble. I can't understand what they're saying. I have to rewind and be like, what did he say? What? And other people are so fast-paced or excited. They are rushing so quickly that, again, I missed it. What? I have to rewind. So we have a lot to think about as online entrepreneurs and small business owners. And thinking about how we're saying what we're saying can be a little bit of a slippery slope to getting a little self-conscious and not doing it at all. But once you're out there making videos, speaking in public, making presentations, doing live events, selling from the stage, taking the time to wake up your face, train your face to enunciate, wake up and strengthen and lengthen your vocal cords, and gain some dexterity in the muscles of the face that are the muscles that you use to speak, can empower and clarify and deliver your message, your wisdom, your charisma, your character through your words in an even more powerful way. So the ways we actors do that are pretty basic. All you have to do is find your favorite tongue twisters and do them. And what I like to add to those simple exercises is this idea of exaggerating the words. That's different than over-articulating. The thing is, the sounds travel on the vowels. So if I am over-articulating, there's a lot of consonants, and it becomes clipped and jerky and sounds ridiculous. It's an exercise. You're still waking up your face. It's not horrible, but that's not how we want to present. So if you do your tongue twisters, which allow your tongue to wake up and your voice to wake up and the mouth and all the different parts of your being that make your words happen, and you exaggerate them a little bit when you practice, take 2 minutes a day to exaggerate the words and run some of those familiar tongue twisters that we all know, One of my favorites is rubber baby buggy bumpers, rubber baby buggy bumpers, rubber baby buggy bumpers. Say that 3 times fast. You'll wake up and engage the muscles of your face so that when you're speaking, you will be more clearly understood. You can still be natural, you can still be the guy next door, you can still be very realistic, but giving your words a little bit more definition can punch your message through. And honestly, the too cash, too cool for school approach is another tiny way that you might be hiding out. So how can you even more fully own your message, get your words out there, use your face to communicate, and speak up, be heard, be valued, increase your value if I understand you the first time, and have a great time being fully present in your work. Hey there, Michelle Copper here with the Inspired Voice Business Coaching and Vanport Square Studio. Welcome to day 11 of my 30 videos in 30 days challenge. Today's question comes from JD right here in Portland. He says, all right, you're going in to present to new people, first time, business setting. What can you do to have them experience you as sincere and trustworthy? It's a great question. A lot of times we're so focused on our content, on our work, our message, knowing how to fix things or make them better, that we don't give a lot of thought about how we're saying it, how we're sharing that information, how we're inviting them to work with us. So the first thing I think that it helps to think about is knowing your audience. A couple of things about that. We want to know not only the results that they're looking for. We want to present our information through this lens of the results that they want. How what we know and what we do and what we can contribute will easily, effortlessly, maybe even with fun, get them the results that they want. And the second thing about knowing our audience, knowing who we're talking to, is that if we can speak to them beforehand or have met with them briefly before the presentation, get a sense of their style, their rhythm, the way that they communicate, then we can be a little bit more conscious about how we present to their organization or their group. So, for example, I talk fast. I happen to know that JD talks fast too. So if I come in and I'm super excited about my ideas and I have all these great plans and exercises and processes and ways that I can help them, and I really want them to get it, and I really want them to know how much I can help them, and I really want the opportunity to work with them because I really see that I can get them where they want to go. And I'm speaking to somebody who is maybe a little bit more cautious or maybe a little bit more slow-paced or takes a little bit more time to process verbally. Lots of different ways that someone might be coming from a different rhythm than me. Then that person who is met with my energy of, hey, you guys, come on, let's go. It's going to be awesome. I got this, I got this, I got this. Feels a little bit attacked. It's a little bit like a bombardment. It's hard to process all the thoughts and ideas as quickly as they're coming at me, so I can end up having this, even if it's subconscious, experience of whoa, 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 slow down, slick. So if I can be, as the presenter, more neutrally paced if I don't know who I'm talking to, have the awareness that I tend to talk fast and get excited and have a lot of information so that I practice maybe a little bit more, clarify my thoughts maybe a little bit more, and definitely probably slow down a little bit more, then I will be able to meet them closer to where they are, and that will make it easier for them to hear me and to connect with me. Same goes the opposite direction. If I, as a fast-paced person, meet somebody who's offering me something, but they don't get to the point, or they couch it in a lot of niceties, or speak really slowly, they lose me. I kind of give up and disconnect and go, what? Get to the point. What is it? I don't know. Okay, never mind. I don't need that. So somebody who knows me and comes to me with an opportunity and says, hey, I was thinking about this thing and it's this, 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 and this, then I'm like, great. It's easier for me to grab what I need, process it, see how I can use it and how the value of it, and move to the next step. So knowing who you're talking to is a really powerful way of being received and heard and perceived as sincere and trustworthy. Those are a couple of my thoughts. Great question, JD. Thank you so much for playing with us here. Please leave your comments below and your questions, thoughts, concerns, challenges about putting your work out there in the biggest way possible, speaking up, being heard, being valued, valuing yourself. And I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Hello again. Welcome to day 12 of my 30 videos in 30 days challenge. I'm Michelle Copper with the Inspired Voice Business Coaching and Vanport Square Studio. Today's question comes from Kristen. She says that she's gotten feedback at work and from coaching clients that she doesn't sound like herself when she's on the phone or making presentations. And she suspects that it comes out of a desire of wanting to be liked or wanting to get it right, and that she'd like to know how to move past that. So I think it's something we all do. This desire to be liked and this desire to get it right and this desire to help can sometimes override what our own inner wisdom, inner intuition, knowledge base experience has to share. If we're too focused on how we are being perceived by others, then we can forget what we know. So the first step, I would say, is to ask, because she's getting feedback from outside of herself, is to say, is this mine? Really ask that question. Is that feedback hers? Does she need to take that on? Does she need to own that as true? Is that her experience? So Kristen, do you feel like you're not yourself when you're speaking to clients or making a presentation? And if you do, which it sounds like maybe there's something resonating with you, if you have an idea where it's coming from, then we can begin to change it. The first step in transitioning or changing any behavior or challenge is to become aware of it, right? We put our awareness on it. And then a lot of times when we become aware of it, we want to make it go away as fast as possible. And we forget a middle step between awareness and action. There's another step that is called acceptance. So accepting, wow, maybe I am doing this. Is that true? And if it feels like it is, then right away the acceptance comes with letting yourself off the hook a little bit, giving yourself a break, because all humans want to be liked. We all want to do it right. We're programmed that way to try and follow the rules and be good kids and get good grades. And so it's a natural desire that we actually can let go of and overcome the residual effects of by starting to own our own intuition, experience base, and knowledge, and letting go of whether or not other people like us or needing to prove what we know to anyone else. If we know what we know and we feel and cultivate the sense of joyful sharing and excitement about what we know, we can feel that lightness and that excitement, we can trust that. And so the action then becomes starting to trust your own internal barometer when it comes to, wow, does this feel good or does this feel icky? We really do know, but learning to pay attention to those signals from our highest self can be a little bit elusive. So having some sort of someone who is a believing mirror or a coach or a colleague who can mirror back to you in a way that's not just reinforcing that belief of you not being yourself. And being really very mindful and conscious that we don't adapt that story and focus on that reality. Oh, I give my power away. I am trying too hard to be liked. That's how I am at work. And then we make this a belief that we solidify by giving it our attention. So we can, instead of that, can let go of all the beliefs that we need to have about ourselves and really own our value from the inside out, instead of looking outside of ourselves to get that validation that we are worthy. It's an intrinsic human challenge. Many of us want to know we are worthy. But many of us also know deep inside that we are, and we're excited to share our gifts, our talents, our ideas, our insight, our wisdom, our passion, our creativity. And many of us have that obstacle or that challenge of doubting our value, of wanting people to like us and wanting to get that validation from outside of us. So it's an interesting and wonderful conundrum, question, challenge. Thank you for bringing it up, Kristen. I would say that it starts with right where you are, asking the question, being willing to look at it honestly, asking, is this mine? And then if you decide that you're owning some part of that, what can you do to change your thinking, your ideas about yourself, and begin to evolve that belief into the truth of who you are, which is about power and beauty and creativity, compassion, and value. We're all intrinsically valuable, but learning how to do that for ourselves is a practice, and we often very much benefit from having the support of other people who are operating from that place or at that level or that vibration, supporting us in remembering who we are. So thanks for an amazing question, Kristen, and thank you all for playing with me here this month. All this content is available for the whole month. I would love to hear your questions, comments, challenges on what it takes for you to be as big and amazing as you are and put your work, your vision, your mission out into the world in the biggest way possible. Speaking up, being heard, and being paid. Thanks so much for being here. Hello, Michelle Copper here with the Inspired Voice Business Coaching and Vanport Square Studio. Welcome to day 13 of my 30 videos in 30 days challenge. I'm very excited today because my friend Simone is jumping in and going to record as many of her own videos in the next 30 days as she can. So woohoo! Nothing like that collaborative energy boost of having a friend jump into a challenge with you and rising those boats all together. So welcome, Simone. She's got a great question and a great point I think many of us can relate to, is that kind of deer in the headlights moment where you think you know what you're going to say and talk about, and all of a sudden your mind just goes blank when you walk out onto the stage or step up in front of the people to make a presentation or the networking group to reel off your elevator speech. And we all have that to some degree. And the more we put ourselves in that situation and do it, the easier it becomes, the more we get accustomed to it, and eventually that moment of fleeting panic where everything falls out of our head does go away. So Simone's going to rock that out by doing her own videos this month. The other thing that I've been working with, which is really helpful, is simplifying and streamlining my ideas. Picking the topic, answering the question. For me, it's been about having a question come in so that I can then formulate an answer and have about 3 bullet points that speak to the tools that I can offer in that situation, and then move on. So I have an introduction, hey, this is my name and what I'm doing, and then the 3 bullet points after the question, and then thanks so much for being here. And that formula is working, and I'm getting better at it as I move through this challenge. So putting yourself out there again and again is a great way to get better at putting yourself out there, and then organizing your thoughts, the tools that you're going to offer, the suggestion, the comments, whatever it is your content is going to be, into 3 simple words or bullet points that'll trigger you to talk just a little bit about each one and then conclude has been the formula that I've been using, and I think it's become effective and it's working for me. The other thing I would say lastly is this idea about I don't have to include every single great thing that I've ever thought of into every video. I don't have to say it in the perfect way. I don't have to try and get every cool little nuance of all the different cool things I could say into every video. And remembering that, and rather than getting held up about like trying to remember it all before I even start, having those bullet points will hopefully trigger most of what I want to say, and then moving through those bullet points allows me to say what I say in that moment, and then maybe I'll do another take or maybe 2 more takes and see if I get that other cool thing that I wanted to do in there, but I don't have to get it all in every time. And then I'm going to go with the one that's the most effective and clean, the take that is overall the best, and let it be good enough and move on to the next day. That's what I did today and every day. So thank you, Simone, for jumping in with me. I can't wait to watch your videos and all your adventures that you will have. And thanks to everyone else for playing with me. I would love to hear your comments, your questions, your challenges about putting your work out in the world in the biggest possible way. What's stopping you from being the amazing you are and sharing it with the world in the biggest possible way? How are you speaking up, being heard, and getting paid? Thanks again. See you tomorrow. Hey there, Michelle Copper here with the Inspired Voice Business Coaching. Welcome to day 14 of my 30 videos in 30 days challenge. I can't believe we're at the end of week 2 already. I'm loving your questions and challenges, and it's a privilege to support you and offer you some tools and insight in how to get out there, speak up, be heard, and get paid. To celebrate the end of week 2, I'm going to offer you 7 easy tricks to 10x your confidence around networking, speaking, and presenting your work on camera or on stage. Many small business owners, online entrepreneurs, creative professionals, coaches, healers, authors, speakers have a full-time job learning our trade, developing our content, marketing our work. There's so much to think about. One of the things we don't always think about or even realize the benefit or the power of thinking about is how we're presenting our work. So these are 7 easy things to think about that won't take a lot of time and can power boost your charisma and your presence and your ability to really draw clients and work opportunities and engagements to you and feel access to your full enthusiasm and confidence and excitement while you're sharing about your work. Instead of dreading it and feeling like you didn't say it right and that shrinking, collapsing, feeling, you can feel like, oh great, I get to go talk about what I do. The first trick is whole body activation and awareness. Performers are taught to use their whole body to communicate, and a lot of the rest of us don't have time to think about it. So take a minute to go for a walk, go for a run, go to a crazy fun dance class that lights up your whole being, and also to wake up your face and your voice and the muscles that you use to make your words and your sounds. You can do that with the siren that we talked about earlier in the challenge. You can do that with those tongue twisters that we talked about to wake up and build the muscle flexibility, strength, and dexterity of your tongue and your mouth that makes the words that you say. My second tip is don't forget to breathe. And there's more to it than just remembering to breathe, because we kind of know that it's a good idea to breathe, but we don't practice. So when you practice your speaking, what you're going to say, your elevator speech, your online content, don't forget to practice taking that first breath. Build it into your body as something that you always do. You take that first relaxed, low breath, and that will set the beginning of any of your content, presentation, speaking, networking off on the right foot. Number 3 is building that muscle memory. You're doing that in the first 2 by getting your body activated, by remembering to breathe, putting that in your body. So to layer on some muscle memory, create those 3 bullet points or 5 bullet points or those trigger words that are going to help you remember what to say, and put them in your mouth. Practice saying them, exaggerate them a little bit so that your face is fully alive and awake and available to you. It's like programming the computer of your voice and your face, that those words are literally at the tip of your tongue, and that will help them come to mind. The other thing that creating those 3 or 5 bullet points, those 3 or 5 keywords that trigger what you want to say, is that you're building the muscle of remembering your cues instead of trying to remember the whole sentence or the whole thought or the whole idea. If you practice this word keying into that idea, then your body, your nervous system will give you all the words that you need in connection with that one keyword that's triggering the thought Number 4 is flip open your camera and practice. It's a great way to recreate that on-the-spot deer in the headlights moment because there's your camera, it's recording everything. And it can help you to practice building that muscle of being a little bit on the spot. And eventually, flipping open your camera will help you get used to it and it won't be such a big thing anymore. The other thing you can use video for is to practice talking your ideas, teaching your ideas, speaking your ideas, instead of writing your ideas. It's a different muscle. Sometimes writing stuff we can get stuck in our head. And whenever you write something, you also want to speak it out loud to see if it feels good, if it feels natural, if it feels like you, what you want to say. Practicing saying what you want to say by speaking it and teaching it and talking it to a camera can also be a great way to use the video tool, even if you end up taking that content and writing it down and sending it out in an email. Number 5, a couple of technical details. What to wear. White and black distort your skin tone a little bit and also do some weird pixelating things with the video. So having a solid white background, having a solid black background, or wearing a solid white shirt or a solid black shirt can make the video look a little weird. It can wash you out, it can make it look a little grainy. It does weird stuff to your skin. But that said, solid is better than print. Print or patterns on camera make you look very busy. And even in person, prints can be fun and great, but they can also distract from your face, which distracts from your message. If you're creating video content, play with the lighting, make sure that your face is well lit, look for the shadows. You can see from the beginning of my challenge to today, the improvements that I've made in lighting. Having direct daylight is often a great way to go. Having direct light on your face is important. If there's weird shadows or if it's too dark, we can't see you and it impacts our ability to experience your enthusiasm and excitement. Number 6 is a very important trick. Love yourself up. Don't judge. Leave the judge in the hall and approach your work and watching your online content, your videos, your presentations, your speaking with a loving heart and full acceptance. The judge is keeping you separate from you and what you want to be and how you want to be and putting your work out in the world. So use the video tool objectively as a tool of learning without analyzing yourself and picking yourself apart and judging your work. Use it to improve and grow, but not to beat yourself up. Trick number 7, go do it! What are you waiting for? You're amazing. You have great work to share with the world. Getting out there and doing it is the most powerful way you will have to get better at getting out there and doing it. I've added a couple of bonuses to the challenge. For everybody who participates each week will be entered to win a free class with me at the studio if you're in the area, and if you're not in my local area, you'll be entered to attend my next teleseminar for free. For those of you who hop over to the Facebook page, The Inspired Voice on Facebook, and click the sign up button and join my email list, you'll be entered to win a free 2-hour one-on-one session with me to talk about how you can give voice to your work, life, and prosperity in the biggest possible way in 2016. So thanks again for being here. I look forward to playing with you. Talk to you tomorrow.